Ever heard of shadow work? If yes, do you keep up with it? I had a hard time sticking to shadow work until I found a way to make it automatic. This new approach changed my life and made pretty much all my relationships much better. Before we talk about this new method, let's make sure you have a proper foundation of shadow work and what it is. Everyone has a shadow side. It's the part of us that we hide or push away because we are not comfortable with it. This shadow can have feelings or behaviors we don't like or want others to see. It might be things like getting angry quickly, having desires we don't talk about, or being selfish sometimes. These are things society often tells us are bad. But the shadow isn't just about bad stuff. Ken Wilber pointed out that our shadow can also have good things we pushed away. Maybe you were told not to show off, so you hide how creative you are. Shadow work is about exploring and understanding this hidden side. By doing this, we can feel better about ourselves, grow as people, and be happier overall. If we ignore our shadow, it doesn't just disappear. It can pop up in many ways we don't expect, and it can influence our actions. By understanding our shadow, we can control it better and use its energy in positive ways. Understanding our shadow is a big step in personal growth and development. It helps us be more whole and balanced. If you're excited about learning more about yourself and growing, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. We get lots of great insights to share. Who am I? I'm Tuomas H, founder of Life Navi, Rebel Energetics, and the Empowered Life Mastery Program. With a background in logistics, engineering, and marketing, my journey took a transformative turn when I co-founded a holistic well-being coaching company. And over 7 years, we empowered over 40,000 individuals to make lasting lifestyle changes by merging psychological support with science-based nutrition and lifestyle habits. I've seen firsthand how unresolved issues can hinder lifestyle changes. And often the barriers to adopting healthier habits are deeply psychological. I'm a certified integral therapist, trained in evolutionary dynamics by Ken Wilber, and a facilitator of the work by Byron Katie, among other therapeutic methods. My passion for energy and consciousness work led me to become a meditation and mindfulness teacher, and I've delved deep into various energy healing modalities, including, for example, vortex healing, rasa, and many trainings by the Spiritual Unfoldment Network. As you've also noticed, English isn't my native language, so bear with me. What is the shadow? The idea of shadow comes from the famous psychologist Carl Jung. He said we all have a hidden dark side with feelings and behaviors we don't like or want to admit. This part stays hidden because we don't want to face it. Jung talked about persona, which is like the mask we wear when we are around others. It's the image we want to show the world, like I'm kind and honest person. But the shadow is the opposite. It has all the things that don't match to this image. For instance, you might act calm and polite in public, but deep down you might feel a lot of anger. Or you might be seen as a role model, but have secret desires that society might not accept. The shadow has all these hidden parts of us that we don't want others to see. When I started my journey to feel better in early adulthood, I realized that this shadow wasn't just a theory. I felt a constant low-level anxiety and nagging sense that something just wasn't right. This led me to delve deeper into understanding this hidden side. Where the shadow comes from? The shadow begins to form when we are kids. When we are young, parents, teachers, and the society tells us what's right and what is wrong. Like when a boy gets told boys don't cry. He then hides his feelings and they become part of his shadow. Bad experiences can also add to the shadow. If a girl gets hurt, she might hide her feelings of pain or sadness deep inside. As we grow up, we keep hiding parts of ourselves to fit in or be liked. Maybe a man hides his soft side because he thinks it's not manly. Every time we think something about us is bad or wrong, it goes into our shadow. Over time, this shadow gets bigger and stronger with all the things we've hidden away. The shadow starts when we are kids, but keeps growing as we get older. Knowing where it comes from helps us deal with it better. Inside the shadow you might find feelings of anger or hate, being selfish or wanting more than you should, desires that you think are wrong, feeling weak or unsure, bad thoughts or wanting to do wrong things, or being creative or spontaneous in ways you don't show. Understanding and facing these hidden parts is what shadow work is all about. It's about breaking down the wall between the image we show the world and the hidden parts we keep to ourselves. In my personal life, the challenges with my child's mystery disease with CP-like symptoms brought forth many emotions and issues I hadn't confronted before. It made me realize how our past experiences, especially the painful ones, contribute significantly to our shadow. It might be obvious already, but why to integrate the shadow? Well, ignoring the shadow can cause problems. It doesn't just disappear. Instead, it can pop up in unexpected ways. For example, if you keep pushing down your anger, one day you might suddenly explode at someone, for a small reason. Or you might keep all that anger inside until you feel really sad or down. By understanding and facing our shadow, you can stop it from controlling you without you even realizing it. When you start to accept and understand your shadow, you can use its energy in positive ways. Maybe you realize you have a lot of strong feelings. Instead of letting them control you, you can use them to stand up for yourself and others. Or if you've been hiding your creative side, you might find new ideas for projects or hobbies. And it's all about being a better person. If you pretend you don't have any bad thoughts or feelings, you're not really choosing to be good, you're just pretending. For example, Tom had a tough childhood with parents who often yelled. He promised himself he'd never be like them. But because he didn't face his own anger, sometimes he'd lose his temper. When he started to accept and understand his own anger, he learned how to express it in healthier ways. Then another example, Jenny. Everyone thought she was really nice, but inside she felt jealous of others. When she started doing shadow work, she realized it was okay to feel this way sometimes. Instead of being jealous, she used these feelings to motivate herself to try new things. In my own work with over 40,000 clients in the previous venture, I've seen how unresolved emotions can manifest in unexpected ways. Many people use food as a coping mechanism, not because they are hungry, but because they are trying to fill an emotional void or ease stress. Well, in short, facing and understanding your shadow helps you grow, understand yourself better, and live a more genuine life. Embracing our darkness. We all have deep feelings and desires that we might hide because of what we've seen thought or because of past hurts. It's important to understand and accept this hidden side to truly know yourselves. The shadow has all our raw, natural feelings like anger, passion, and wanting things for ourselves. Sometimes society tells us it's wrong to have these feelings, but actually they are a part of who we are. It's like having a wild side that we've been told to keep quiet. It's not about letting these feelings take over, but understanding them. When we face these hidden parts, we can find balance and peace. For example, Knowing we can get angry doesn't mean we go around yelling at everyone. It means we understand our anger and find healthy ways to express it. By accepting our shadow, we can find energy and creativity that we didn't know we had. It's like finding a part of yourselves that we forgot about. And when we understand our hidden desires, we can make choices that are true to who we are. Sometimes our shadow might remind us of people who hurt us in the past. Talking to our shadow like it's a person can help us understand and heal old wounds. It's also a way to stop blaming others for things we don't like about ourselves. When my daughter was diagnosed with a permanent lifelong disability, I had to face many dark emotions: fear, guilt, anger. But by embracing and understanding them, I found strength and resilience I never knew I had. In simple words, getting to know our shadow helps us be more real, make better choices, and heal from past hurts. How to do shadow work? Shadow work is like taking a journey inside yourself to understand and accept the hidden parts of you. As a certified integral therapist, I've used many of these techniques personally and professionally. Here's how you can start. Number 1. Face your feelings. Pay attention to feelings like bitterness, anger, or wanting revenge. Instead of pushing them away, just watch them without judgment. This helps you see them clearly and reduces the power over you. Number 2. Talk to your shadow. Imagine your shadow as a person or a younger version of yourself. Ask it questions like, "What do you want?" or "Why are you here?" This helps you understand its needs and intentions. Think of your shadow as a protector or a lost child. This makes it easier to feel kindness and understanding towards it. Number 3. Visualize your shadow. Close your eyes and picture meeting your shadow. Listen to what it has to say and imagine accepting and embracing it. This can help you feel more connected to this hidden part of yourself. Number 4. Go back in time. Think about moments in your past when you felt hurt or scared. Imagine going back to those times and comforting your younger self. Bring back positive feelings and strengths to the present. This can help heal old wounds. Number 5. Understanding projection in shadow work. One of the ways our shadow can influence our interactions is through projection. Projection is when we attribute our own repressed traits, both positive or negative, to others. For instance, if you suppressed your own assertiveness, you might see someone else's assertiveness as arrogance or bullying. On the flip side, if you denied your own creativity, you might overly admire or envy that trait in someone else. This is because these traits, which are hidden in our shadow, are being projected onto others, making our reactions to them more intense. Recognizing when we are projecting can be a clue to understanding what lies in our own shadow. By becoming aware of our projections, we can reclaim these disowned parts of ourselves and improve our relationships. Number 5. The 3-2-1 practice. This is a step-by-step method to work with your shadow that I learned from Ken Wilber. Step 1. It's the third person. Think of a person or situation that triggers strong reactions in you. Describe them as if you are talking about a movie character, like he is, she does. Step number 2, which is second person. Now talk to this character directly. You make me feel, or I don't like when you. Step number 3, which is first person. Finally, become this character. Speak as if you are them. I am, I feel. And obviously there's much more to this practice, but those are the general guidelines. And this practice helps you see from different perspectives and can bring insights about your shadow. Then, some other helpful techniques. Self-reflection. Use journaling or meditation to dig deeper into your feelings and thoughts. Dream analysis. Your dreams can give clues about your shadow. Write them down and think about their meanings. Get feedback. Sometimes friends and family can see things that we ourselves miss in our behavior, about our character. Ask them about behaviors and habits you might not be aware of. Professional help. Well, this is obvious. If you feel really stuck or overwhelmed, consider talking to a therapist or counselor, or someone who does this for their living. Then practice new reactions. After understanding a part of your shadow, imagine how you can react differently in a real-life situation. With these tools, you can uncover hidden parts of yourself and grow as a person. Remember, the goal isn't to get rid of the shadow, but to understand and integrate it, own it. Become conscious of it. If you are finding value in this shadow work guide, give it a thumbs up. It helps others progress on this helpful journey too. It helps this channel to grow, which helps me to, have more time to do all this stuff. Stay tuned for more game-changing insights into shadow work. Automated shadow work. Traditional shadow work involves practices like journaling, dream analysis, and visualizations, those that we just went through. And these have helped many people over the years. In the past, I tried to start a regular shadow work routine with journaling and exercises, doing those kind of practices. But honestly, it was quite tough. I'd often forget or just skip it because of other things going on. Fortunately, there's now an innovative new method that can automate parts of shadow work through consciousness technology and energy work. This is called automated shadow work. It combines ancient wisdom of psychology with modern technology and knowledge of energy work. The goal is to make shadow work more efficient and easier to integrate in your busy life compared to the old ways of doing it. This method uses special videos that are infused with energy fields. These fields and energy work, they operate in a way that work directly on your subconscious mind to uncover and integrate your shadow side. Some people call these morphic fields, but basically it is energy work. In my own quest to feel better, I explored various methods from psychology to meditation. The blend of ancient wisdom with modern technology resonates with my own journey of integrating traditional practices like meditation, psychological tools with modern therapeutic techniques. Let's look at how this new automated process works in more detail next. You will also be given a link to the actual tool that you can use for free. This delivers a revolutionary way to do profound self-reflection and work with the shadow. Our shadow work method. This is a method we have developed for shadow work. And here's an overview of how it works. First, the benefits of automated shadow work. It increases efficiency, depth, accessibility, and flexibility. You can pretty much do this inner work anytime, anywhere. The energy also works while the sound is muted. If you're watching the video that is provided, as long as the energy-infused video is playing, you can have it on mute. The sound doesn't need to be on. And this method uses energy fields that are designed to surface and reconcile the unconscious parts of yourselves. The key goal of shadow work. It uses specific morphic fields and automated energy techniques tailored for shadow integration. And how to use it? You simply start the energy-infused video, set an intention or focus based on the potential topics you've discovered. But no worries if you don't know what to work on. If no intention is set, the energies will work with shadow material it deems most important to work with at that time. So you don't need to set an intention, but if you have a specific topic, you can work on that. Listen for 15-20 minutes per session. You can after a while go longer, do it like for an hour at once, but I recommend starting with 15 and 20 minutes. And stay hydrated by having a glass of water afterwards, which is pretty important when working with energy. My recommendation is to do 15 minutes at least 3 times per day, and I challenge you to do daily 15-minute sessions for a full 14 days when you feel like. Like after you kind of gotten to know the energy, try it for 14 full days straight. You can also do this as a meditation, like you keep your eyes closed and just observe if something comes up. Emotions, sensations, thoughts, or insights might also occur in the coming days, as your subconscious keeps on processing. You can also just listen while doing other things, but as having trained as a meditation and mindfulness teacher, I can attest to the power of focused work with the mind, at least in the beginning of getting into this work. After a while, you can just have it running in the background. Also, to turbocharge shadow work, while immersing yourself in the energies, you can do the practices mentioned in the How to Do Shadow Work section, such as talking to your shadow or noticing what makes you bitter, angry, or vengeful. The next section is combining this with other energy work. We have these other free tools as well that you can use, and it can magnify the potential of healing you can have. And overall, a great combo of energy work is like this. First, use Master of Mind, which is a meditation energy, to settle you into quiet space, for example for 5 to 10 minutes. Then use Read Transcendence, which raises your level of consciousness and advances your spiritual evolution. It does it both temporarily, and after the work you come down a bit in the level of consciousness, you still stay higher than when you started. So when you're running the energy, you go way up, but when you come down, you still keep on a higher level than when you started. Do this for 20 to 30 minutes. And it's all about raising your level of consciousness, which makes you better aware of what is happening. It gives clarity to your thinking and understanding the world. It puts you more in control on how you react to things. Shadow work is a very important aspect of spiritual work, as it helps avoid doing spiritual bypassing on topics we have pushed to our shadow that might keep affecting our lives even after we are far along on the path of awakening. A good example is when we encounter these cases where genuinely awake leaders, gurus, who are living in non-duality have done misconduct related to sex, drugs, or money. Usually that has something to do with shadow issues that haven't been dealt. So shadow work is an important part of also the spiritual path, and in a way also raising your level of consciousness helps with the shadow work. So these are all helping each other. Then third, from this elevated state of consciousness, you do cleaning up with shadow work. You could do it for 15 to 60 minutes. And a pro tip, you could occasionally, for example once a week, amp up the shadow work with our other energy tool, which is a 2-hour transmission of negative pattern and triggers dissolver. It can also be found free from our channel. Step 4. After shadow work, use infusion of love to support the process and minimize elements of the dark night of the soul. Use this for 15 to 60 minutes. The purpose of this energy is opening the heart, increasing heart coherence, which means synchronizing the balance and balancing the heart, mind, and emotions. It also is working with Christ consciousness that will help you soften and diffuse some of the impact of shadow work is unfolding. You will still go through the process of shadow work, but it is supported with additional element of love that makes it a bit more easy to kind of process the difficult emotions that might come up. And now to kind of pull it all together, you could finish this with our energetic tool Safe Place, which is for grounding, clearing, and integration, and use this for 5 to 10 minutes. And if you take those minimum recommendation times, this would make it a 60-minute session for a complete integral practice covering the most important areas. And this is my recommendation. For example, you could start getting into only using the shadow work field, but once you kind of get used to it, you feel it's working, you could move into doing this integral 60-minute session. In my own journey, I found that combining different techniques and practices amplifies their effects. Just like how in my coaching company we combine nutrition exercise with deep psychological support to ensure lasting lifestyle changes. Also in our training programs with this new venture, we teach how to streamline this process as we attune participants to these energies and many other energetic tools. So those tools and energies can be activated with mental activation for a desired amount of time, which makes it very easy to do anytime, anywhere, without the need to listen or watch the videos. Basically, mental activation means having an intention to start running the energy. So once you've been attuned to the energy by us, you could just think, run 30 minutes of shadow work, and the energetic transmission starts and tapers off automatically after 30 minutes. And you could also program the whole 60-minute session with all those different energies to just start with mental activation, and it runs all the way in the background. But yeah, you can find the link to our free automated shadow work energetic tool below this video's descriptions. And there's also these other energetic tools you can use free on the channel. So, how do you feel? Excited about this revolutionary method? Let's spread the word. Share this video with friends and family who'd benefit from this transformative journey. And if you have questions or experiences to share, drop a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for joining us on this profound exploration of the self. If you find value in today's content, please consider subscribing to the channel for more insights and transformative methods. The best way is to support this channel is like, subscribe, share the videos. All the best to you in your journey of growth and transformation.